Jordan, speaking of things that are gratuitous and unpleasant, I need to ask this question, Jordan. I'm going to ask this again. I've asked this question before, but I'm going to ask it again. Why are all these Digimon movies such a weird bummer?
Well, I think it's because they know that the people that grew up with Digimon grew up to be weird bummers. I'm looking at
Digimon
you, Justin.
Adventure 2, The Beginning.
Hmm? Aren't those two... Do you really believe it? That unconditional friendship truly exists? Something as incredible as that. How could it be real? Humans and Digimon aren't meant to be together. When they are, they only make each other miserable. The Digi-Egg!
It's hatching!
Hey, what the heck's going on?
We have to do something or the whole world will suffer.
This all started because of you and what you wished for. The key to stopping this is Louis.
Okay, guys!
Right, let's go! All right. You have to try and see things from each other's perspective.
Hey, David!
Yeah, I know what we have to do. But I have full faith in Louis.
So this, to recap, for those of you who don't know, is a sequel to Digimon Last Adventure, Last Kazuna. Where, just to remind you all, both Agumon and Gabumon are dead? Maybe? Maybe? It's unclear. And somehow they're still gonna do the finale, the epilogue for Digimon Adventure 2. Just so we're clear. So this takes place some period of time afterwards, because in the ending credits of the previous movie, you saw Davis, and he was working as a chef. And so this movie opens with they're at his restaurant that he worked at, this restaurant that he works at, and a big ass Digi-Egg has appeared in the middle of Tokyo or something, some city in Japan, and they all decide. Oh, I should say this takes place very much after Adventure 2, because everyone knows that Digimon exist. In fact, it has all the characters from the World Tour part of that season.
Yes.
They're all in this movie. Every one of them.
That's, that's
Every
weird.
single one.
That's
of
kind
those,
of a neat.
yeah, the Russians, the Mexicans, you all see them and their Digimon at one point. Like if a character from that arc appears at one point in this movie, and so, a guy shows up and he's got a Digivice that's kind of like broken and busted, and they go, I think, into the Digi-Egg or through a portal by the Digi-Egg, but they wind up back in time, seeing what is a horribly emaciated and abused child. Jordan described it as, who is this character from Grave of the Fireflies and what is he doing in my Digimon movie?
Would it be okay if Ukomon came inside too? He's my friend. Sure. Come on, before you catch a cold, I'll heat up some milk for you right away. Really? Come on, Ukomon, let's go! This is it. This is where I live. Hey, Lily?
What the f-
Yeah?
Why are all these Digimon movies weird and depressing?
To protect you. No bad or sad stuff will get you. I'll protect you from all of it. Really? Mm-hmm. Because we're friends. Yup. We are friends. That's right. Would you be happier with even more friends? Yeah, I want lots of them. Okay then. By the next time your birthday comes around, I'll make sure that you have some more. Yeah, awesome. But my birthday only comes.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But he's horribly emaciated. He's got like bruises up and down his body. Like this movie implies, spoiler alert, by the way, I'm gonna spoil the shit out of this movie. But this movie says, or seems to want to imply anyway, that the reason why DigiDestined exists and why Digimon partnerships exist is when this kid was really, really young, he was horribly beaten and abused by his mother, who is stressed out because she is taking care of her dad, his dad, I should say, who is all hooked up to life support. At one point, he's watching television, and she comes out, and she's kind of in a good mood, but then she sees that he's peed himself, and she yanks off of his clothes, and is like, now I'm gonna have to clean this up, and she kicks him outside into the cold. Which is why, in the clip I sent you, he's wearing what he's wearing. Is because his mom yanked off his clothes and tossed him out into the snow. And as I'm watching this scene, and then all of a sudden it cuts back, and it's Davis and Vmon and Ken and Wormmon, I think, are there. But it's definitely Davis and Ken are there. And it's the original voice of Davis from the original anime. It
just sounds like you're describing two different movies that got smushed together.
It cuts back to them, and it's his voice, and it pulls me out of it immediately. And I don't know if watching in Japanese would have helped this, but I got pulled out immediately because I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching a Digimon movie. Like I'm like, what is this? This movie implies that the DigiDestined exists because of this horribly emaciated child. That's fun. Does that sound fun to you, Jordan? Are you having fun? Does that sound fun?
I think we have different definitions of fun.
It's like, it's so weird because it just sort of drastically misunderstands how Digimon works. So this horribly emaciated child meets this Digimon who keeps saying that he gets his powers from someone powerful, but has the ability to grant wishes, but they seem to be quasi monkey paw style wishes where they come with a cost. But so he wishes that his parents would be nicer to him, which turns into this Digimon just puppeting his parents like they're meat sacks for literal years. And he wishes that he has friends that are like them, is how it's worded. I wish I had friends like me and you, which is, the implication is that's why he creates DigiDestined, so he can create Digimon who are friends with human children, so that he can find people to be friends with him, so that he can bring all of these friends to his birthday party.
So does this horrifying plot intersect with the other one in any
yeah,
way?
absolutely. He's telling this to them.
How?
Because they've gone into this portal which is connected to this giant digi egg that they're waiting for it to hatch, and this kid, they run into him, and he tells them this backstory where he reveals that this Digimon created all of the relationships that exist, basically created all of the DigiDestined. All of the DigiDestined exist.
It just sounds unnecessarily complicated.
Because of this Digimon. So there's a point where they're watching the events of, you remember, the I don't know if you've ever seen it. I have, but I don't know if you have. The Revenge of Diaboromon.
I know of it.
He's watching that on TV, implying that the events of that movie are canon. But he's watching Omni-Man fight Diaboromon on TV, and the Digimon's like, "See, I told you I'd find you friends. Look at them, they're defending the world for you." And he's like, "You did this?" Like, "Yes, I did this." And he does this really creepy turn where he's like, "I did this because you wish for friends. You did this." And he's like, I didn't want this. This is not what I wanted." And he backs out, and he's like, you what have you done? And the parents, it breaks the Digimon's concentration, and the parents collapse, and they get up, and they're all zombified. And he's like, "What have you done to my parents? You did this to my parents. I didn't want this. I want you to change my parents back to the way they were." It's like, bro, your mom hit you. Your parents abused you horribly. Why would you want your parents to go back to the way they were? That doesn't make any sense. Did you forget the part where they, and it's just,
well, I mean, which is both scenarios seem bad. You either keep them as as puppeted zombies, which is bad, or you let them go back to normal and they're awful, which is also bad. It's
I
kind of a
guess, yeah.
it's kind of a lose-lose
And
scenario,
so,
really.
yeah, it's just one of those, like, it's just the story of a kid who never really fully reconciled the fact that his parents abused the shit out of him as a child and was given a limitless power from a Digimon who is overpowered for some reason. And so anyway, so they go back through the portal back to the present day, and yeah, it's revealed that the big Digimon egg is his Digimon, and through a series of flashbacks and events, the present day version of it becomes overpowered and strong, and is attacking things and people, and so that's when the Digimon the Adventure 2 cast show up, who are very much, as you've no doubt picked up on, secondary characters in their own movie. Like they're in it, but they don't really affect the plot. Isn't affected by them in any significant way.
It just sort of feels like they wanted to do this like super serious movie about this horrifying
And they
scenario with
tack
this
Digimon
kid,
shit onto it.
and they tack Digimon
Yeah,
shit on.
the Digimon that he has, the name
Like
of which
even if they wanted like if you want to say like it was always supposed to be a Digimon thing, it feels like it was supposed to be its own
doesn't
Digimon story, which they tacked
doesn't feel
Adventure
that.
2 on.
It doesn't feel that way. The Digimon
Just
that he
from
has
just from what you're
doesn't
describing.
act or behave really all that much like a Digimon. All it serves the only function the Adventure 2 cast serve in that movie is for them to doubt whether or not the relationships they formed and the bonds they formed with their Digimon are real, or if they're artificially created by the wish of this kid. They're like, no, these bonds that we formed are real and they are organic, and we've been through all this stuff together and had all these adventures, and that can't mean nothing. That can't be due to the power of this one Digimon. That can't be it. And
Can it?
and so the stakes of this are, this Digimon wants to give, at one point they're like, there's 60,000 DigiDestined at this point, and they're like, this Digimon wants to give everyone on Earth a Digimon, and that would cause chaos. And it says that the Digivices, once again retcons the Digivices, so now they're conduits to facilitate the connection between Digimon and Digimon partner. And so this movie doesn't even contain like the previous one. It at least had like cool new transformation, like cool new Digivolutions. We're like, oh, this is sick and this is cool. If you're looking for like them to play the favorites, so like you get to see Digivolutions that look like just like they did from the original anime. Paildramon comes back, but it's not like you're like the previous outing for this where they had Paildramon Paladin mode, who looks different and cool and at least looks different. It's just the same transformations you've already seen from the show. Not really doing any. There's not like there's a new sick transformation they do to beat this Digimon. They eventually beat the Digimon. It's
Not like you get to see all of the Adventure 2 people get to like go to Ultimate or Mega or anything
no,
like
not
that.
really. No, like you get to see
So
them do like
what I'm hearing is this movie has nothing.
what's weird because they can all still do the fusion Digivolutions, but like I remember them losing that ability at the end of Zero 2. Like they couldn't do it anymore, but maybe I'm misremembering. But
I don't remember. I know I don't remember them losing
like
it.
there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of really cool, like they bring in Shakua, like they bring back Shakuamon, and oh, what's the name of the one between Gatomon and Sylphimon. They bring back Sylphimon, and Sylphimon's got some pretty cool action sequences. Like there's some fun action sequences that are cool when they're happening, but it's buried under this weird and depressing and upsetting backstory for this new character. It's like, why is all of these Digimon tries the same way? Digimon Kazuna, the last one, they're so dependent on a character you've never seen before, and the Digimon Adventure characters wind up being secondary characters in their own movie. It also doesn't resolve anything from the previous movie. It doesn't explain how Agumon or Gabumon or
Any of them are back.
not, yeah, but the Biomon, how Biomon are alive because they died at the end of the last movie. It ends with, so long story very short. It's determined.
No, it wasn't.
It's determined the evil Digimon, the reason why he is being evil is because part of his backstory is the guy gets really mad and gets injured, and the Digimon gives him his eye, and and then he's like, "Go away! I don't need you anymore," Old Yeller style, and like thinks he's killed him. And there's this really upsetting scene where the Digimon melts, and it's really upsetting. And so he thinks that the Digimon has been dead this whole time, but it turns out that he's actually alive, and that they have unresolved emotional feelings that they need to talk out. So once again, he goes back in time.
This movie sounds really bad.
And him and this Digimon have a conversation where they basically talk out their issues that they have amongst each other. And they decide that they need to kill the version of him that's in the present day that's now gigantic and is attacking everybody. So Imperial Demon kills him, and he gets revived as a Digi-Egg. And it is said that, and this is why, all of the Digivices disappear, and they now no longer need the Digivice as a conduit to be connected to the Digimon, even though I'm positive they've already done that before on the show, but whatever. And it ends with their bond with the Digimon is now closer than ever, and they no longer need the Digivice. And it seems to be implied that like that strengthens the connection to the Digimon and allows them to exist without the Digivice. And so maybe that's the point when Gabumon and Agumon and Biyomon come back to life, because this movie once again insists that epilogue is going to happen, even though it can't.
I mean, I don't know about the. I'm pretty sure they also with the Digivices, but definitely with the crests, right from Adventure 1, after Apocalypse destroyed them and like scatters their stuff, and they come back and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we don't really need the crest. It was just a way of focusing what was inside of us all along."
I'm pretty sure that's when they destroy the Digivices as well. No, because they saw
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, because there's a whole bit, but then again, maybe not, because there's a bit at the end of the movie where the D3 start to disappear, and they're like, "Oh, goodbye, D3. You've been, we will miss you," and they disappear, and they're like, "Well, we'll miss you. You've been an instrumental part of our lives, but we no longer need them anymore." But then the movie also ends with, because everything I read declared this as the series finale for Adventure 2, and it ends with Ken.
If it is, then that sounds like a shitty ending.
It ends with Yoli and Ken. It ends with them getting together as a couple, which is, in the epilogue, they are a couple. They're married. But that's part of one of the things that makes that epilogue bad, is there's no hint towards it at all in the original show that they would.
Well, I mean, kind of. There isn't so far of the tropes of like she's the hard-headed girl and she gives him a hard time, and like there is a
like she kind of has a she kind of has a crush on him when he's mysterious and badass. But that ends the minute he joins their team. They don't really have that kind of. But this movie very much sets up at the end of it a romantic relationship between them, hinting. And they drop a bunch more hints that the epilogue will happen. And what's interesting is the last one. Apparently, the creator left because of a major creative decision that they approved that he disagreed with. And my guess, it was killing off Agumon and Gabumon.
Yeah, probably.
Because he said it made the story incoherent, and I was like, it made it not make sense or something to that effect. And I was like, yeah, that has to be it, because that completely contradicts the finale of Digimon Adventure 2, the epilogue, which is like, no, we never have to say goodbye to our Digimon. They will always be there with us. Like, Matt goes to the moon with Gabumon, and they still set up him becoming an astronaut in the last one. And this one doesn't explain how Gabumon comes back to life. How any of, like, the last one was very explicit about the fact that they're gone. Like, part of growing up is letting go of your Digimon, and your Digimon will eventually disappear and die. Like, that was a major part of the last one. And this one very explicitly is supposed to be a sequel. Like, there's references to the previous movie. So what the fuck? half the cast who's alive in the epilogue that you're in story. It's not even like out of story. They're insisting it's somehow still going to happen. In the movie implies that it's still going to happen even though it can't. It doesn't make any sense, and it makes these movies worse off. You're not even mentioning the fact that they're all weird and sad and depressing. Like, I got a comment on a video that was like, I'm glad that Digimon is, unlike Pokemon, willing to go places. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't all need to go places. Like, there was like 8 of these, no, like at this point 10 of these movies. They're all depressing. Every single one of them. All of Tri is depressing. The last Kizuna is depressing. This is depressing. Did the original like, this movie is like, he's the original DigiDestined. Did he need to be a character from Grave of the Fireflies? Like, what was the necessity in that? What was the necessity in making the original DigiDestined, the origin point of the DigiDestined, be this horrible, emaciated child who has a weird, complex relationship with his parents? That's weird. Why that? This was a beloved childhood franchise. I can't even think of a good comparison. Like, I'm like, I guess it was...
Well, yeah, and that's where I say, like, there's room to do things like that. Like, you can take a franchise and do a more serious take on it. That can be done. They have done that with some of the games, right? Like Digimon Survive touches on darker things, but it's a weird choice to do a thing to take the characters which were explicitly for children,
yeah, exactly, and
do it with them.
It's not so much that, like, if this
repeatedly,
were
over and over again.
It's not so much that this one is weird and dark. Like, if Last Kizuna was the one that's sad, and it's like, this is the finale, this is learning about letting go and growing up and letting go of childhood things. If it was the one that was sad and this was lighthearted, but literally, he's got bruises up and down his body from where his mom hits him. What the fuck? Like, what is this? Why is this like this?
Oh, but there's David being David.
It's so weird because, yeah, and then the next scene it's Vemon and Davis. They're Vemon and Davis. There's I forget the actor's name, but there's the guy who does Davis and Vemon, and it sounds fucking weird. And once again suffers from
whiplash.
Right, exactly. And it suffers from the fact that it's got some of the original Derek Stephen Prince. That's what his name is. It has some of the original cast, but not all of them. It's really distracting and noticeable and pulls me out. That's not a fault of the movie. That's purely on the dub. I heard that the guy who does Wormmon refused to come back because it was a non-union gig, and I get that. I understand that. That's not on the movie. But the kid being horribly emaciated is on the movie. Like, I don't know if it's... I wouldn't argue it's more like, the thing that's frustrating is it just sidelines the event. The Adventure 2 characters have gotten sidelined this entire post-show franchise, and they get probably easily... Ah, man. Ugh. I don't know. I was going to say the worst movie, but some of those late Tri movies were bad. They were bad. I'm gonna have to go back. I think I may have to go back to some of those because they were bad. They were not good. They were not good. I
don't know. This sounds worse.
It's pretty bad. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
From what you've described, this sounds worse.
Oh, a lot of it is just this guy's backstory. Like, a great deal of this movie. It's like it's an hour and like 20 minutes.
Which, if this
so much of it is his backstory.
If this is supposed to be the episode to the Adventure 2 or whatever, then
series
no, that
finale.
makes this bad.
Everything described
then that
series
makes this
finale.
bad.
And I'm like, it doesn't need this finale. This is a bad... Like, the thing is, it just exists to facilitate... It doesn't even bridge the end of the last one to the epilogue of this franchise. It doesn't do that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is, but I don't know. It's hard because it's Digimon, so there's always going to be a base level of it. Bad is a strong word. I wouldn't go so far as to say bad. It's probably one of the worst ones of these. Yeah, I don't know. Those Tri movies get really bad at the end. Like, they get... It's not better than the last one, and it doesn't explain anything that the last one left open-ended. Is what I would say. In that regard, it's probably worse. That's it. That's Digimon Adventure 02, The Beginning. Why are those movies so depressing? So depressing. Hey there, everybody. It's Endcard Justin here. Let me know down in the comments, have you seen Digimon Adventure 0 to the beginning. Do you agree that it is a weird and depressing bummer for seemingly no reason? But anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see the full podcast that this is from, our anime part 5 special, you can click the box on the left. Or if you just want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave this video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.